Hello. As I stated way back in the beginning of this video series, GIS is a data visualization tool, and its effectiveness as a data visualization tool depends upon how well you're able to visualize the data. And yes, I know that seems like a somewhat obvious statement. In this video, I will show 4 simple ways in which you can modify the way in which your data layers are displayed on your map. This is far from an all-encompassing list of the ways you could modify your map. The first, which is to change the order of the data layers as they appear on the map, is something that I actually covered in a previous video. To briefly recap, start by making sure the List by Drawing Order option is selected at the top of the Contents window. Then, click and drag the data layers into the desired sequence in the Contents window. Another option is to change the color of the layer. To demonstrate, I will use the aquifer data set. However, before doing so, I will turn off the Wetlands Habitats layer in the Contents window. Now, I really don't like that pink color for the aquifer layer, so I'm going to double-click on the pink box below the layer name in the Contents window. This opens a symbology window on the right side of the screen. Don't worry, your catalog window hasn't gone anywhere, it's just hidden behind the symbology window and will be visible again once you close the symbology window. The symbology window contains 2 tabs, a Gallery tab and a Properties tab. The Gallery tab provides predefined backgrounds for a wide variety of different categories of features, while the Properties tab lets you choose colors, as well as the color and thickness of your outlines. Since the basic problem with map layers is that the layers on the top obscure the layers below, another thing you can do is to vary the transparency of a map layer. By making a layer partially transparent, you can see through it to the layers below. To start, select the Appearance tab at the top of the screen. Then work your way over to the Transparency setting in the ribbon. Clicking on the drop-down arrow reveals a slider. Note how moving the slider changes the transparency of the aquifer layer on the map. As an alternative, you can type your desired transparency into the Transparency setting. You can also apply labels to the features on your map. I'll show you how this is done using the aquifer data layer. To begin, click on the layer name in the Contents window, then select the Labeling tab at the top of the screen. To activate the labeling feature, click on the Label icon in the ribbon area, after which the background of the icon will turn blue. Then, immediately to the right of the label icon, check the box for Label Features in this class. Below that, select the data field that you want to use for your labels. For this example, I'm somewhat arbitrarily choosing the T field. At this point, depending upon the processing power of your computer, as well as the number of labels that need to be applied, you may be in for a bit of a wait before the labels appear on your map. Since this is a video, and I can do this kind of thing, I'm going to fast forward to the final result. Okay, there we go. You might be looking at the map and thinking, is this really an improvement? After all, it just looks really cluttered and the labels are obscuring the features on the map. Fortunately, there's something you can do about this. On the ribbon, set the drop-down for In Beyond to a map scale of your choosing. You may either use one of the preset values or type in a value. Now, the map will only display the labels if you zoom in beyond the specified map scale. You might be noticing that, despite this latest change, the labels are still on the map. That's just a function of the refresh rate of the computer I'm using. Take my word for it, it will catch up eventually. In the next video, I will introduce the use of symbology to visualize your data.